Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the direct descendant of the sage over on Anime King. And also over there as well, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto failed his Janine test and was given intense training. So go ahead and enjoy it as well. And stay tuned for a brand new episode over Anime King 3. And remember guys, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, you enjoy the videos on both Anime King 2, and Anime King 3. Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Naruto was still in the village, searching for the criminal brother syndicate, when he was talking to one of the royal knight that protected the daimyo while he used to, as Reika had came into the town, and the man had taken over everything. He was also scheduled to marry the daimyo's daughter, as everything was just bad now. As Naruto sensed something as he was blown out the window, the entire door coming off. He dropped towards the ground as the man inside was slaughtered by Rika, as Naruto dragged his body that was already beaten up and torn, making his way. As he made his way down the alley, but Rika caught him. The 15 days passed as the team realized that Naruto was nowhere to be seen. As usually, in these situations, they were supposed to return back home with the information they gave to Kakashi and told him to return back home as they were going to look for Naruto, as Kakashi thought Obito would have been proud. But he made his way along with his team as well. They will find Naruto no matter what. Time passed as they had put on by their headband. They were immediately attacked by several different ninjas. Kakashi had to fight all of them as their skills were top notch, greatly stronger than him and Anko. As Itachi realized that, Kakashi had to put in more of the effort as he was able to bring them down, though each and every one of them. But from overusing the Sharingan, he was exhausted to the point where he fell. Anko made her way to find Naruto. Meanwhile, Naruto was buried in the ground, as one of the leaders called Yumi wanted to put the demon, the soul of the snake demon, inside of Naruto, inside of his corpse. As he realized too late after torturing Naruto that he would be the perfect vessel, Naruto's body was tortured for the past 15 days. His body was torn and ragged, his face sunk in his teeth, his eyes. He was mercilessly beaten. The fox told him to loosen the collar, and she will help him. So surprisingly, she was a girl. That was quite surprisingly. As he did loosen it, as Naruto exploded out of the earth where he was buried. As Reiga was one to give everyone a proper burial, he was strange that way. As Naruto took the young boy from Reiga and ripped him apart, Reiga felt the dreaded feeling of death. He had nothing else to do but run. As Naruto passed out, when the uncle found him, she was attacked by a rather large man that seemed to be 3 people in one, seemed like he had 3 heads. As their body was attached together, she started to get pissed as he wanted to hurt Naruto and turn Naruto into some vessel. As the kanji on her neck, where the fox had branded her to seal away the curse mark, started to lessen as Anko started to change. Her skin color, her eyes, everything, as she mercilessly beat the man down to the ground. Yumi then came, as Anko had lost that power as it was sealed away again right by the fox tattoo on her neck. The kanji, the 9 kanjis. As Naruto awoken, as he was different, his voice sounding dark, he ripped the darkness right out of Yumi before coughing it straight into the earth, as it seemed to just flow out of him and go straight down to the earth. Tsunade had came, along with Guy, the rescue team, because his mission was far more dangerous than a C rank, as it been pushed up to S, as they defeat all the enemies and she found her son. Naruto was exhausted the entire way, as he had lashed out at Anko because he was just so pissed, as he had cursed the Hokage would find a way to turn this against him, seeing that he was tortured for 15 days. No one would believe that he did not break because he didn't even have a scratch on his body. The fox told him that they would talk once he regained some energy, as being that it was split, it siphoned energy instead of giving, as Naruto was too exhausted. As the same thing happened when they arrived, as Naruto didn't put in the part, so Minato wanted to know what happened. As anyone would have break for 15 days, seeing that he didn't have a scratch on him, that meant he gave away valuable information. Minato wanted to have a Yamanaka check his mind, but Naruto told him that he could not, as the Kyuubi would rip him apart. Minato and the others were startled by that, as Naruto fell down, his body still extremely exhausted. As Minato told them that he would have Kushina check over the seal, Anko didn't want to leave, but Kakashi pulled them out of the office, leaving Minato with Naruto, as he sent a clone to call Kushina immediately, as if the seal was in risk of breaking. As Minato turned his back as he looked across the village, he heard scuffling behind him as Naruto picked himself up, but his eyes were closed. But it wasn't Naruto anymore, as a fox emerged. Despite Naruto's eyes being closed, it was talking to Minato. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So this is the beginning of this new episode. Well. Look at what we have here. Minato body thinks you're the Kyuubi, as his eyes narrowed. Don't feign ignorance with me. After all, I know the truth, the voice said. Did you tell Naruto? Minato asked, worried that the fox knew the truth. And if it was to tell Naruto, why would I? I like the boy, and if I did, he will break. Completely break. What happened in those 2 weeks then? Did you do something? Minato asked. I slept. Without chakra, I sleep. When I'm awake, I consume. He had been tortured. That is what I saw. What he went through, I know. And right now he needs rest, not me waking up. Wait, what are your plans with him? As Minato felt the office change, as a twirl of leaf, as Kushina appeared in Sunshin. As Naruto simply went back down, the fox relinquished control. Minato, what happened? Naruto is Kushinaheim. Not now. Check the iron seal with you. Naruto said that he loosened it. Kushina pushed Minato aside as he rushed forward. She tore Naruto's left sleeve, as the kanji was there for iron. It seemed half transparent, from a normal black ink to a blue color, and it was glowing slightly. More than loosening it, he nearly broke it. This is what you get for not hearing me out. I told you that he was gonna need a seal master around all time, but you were scared of those damn hidden stone pricks. Look, Kushina, whatever happened, it was recent. I'm sure it can be solved, right? She took a deep breath as she went and unsealed ink and a brush from one of her storage scrolls. If you so much as breathe on my neck, I'll chop you, Minato, she said, as she started to work alone. But to her surprise, as she write on the seal, it started to sizzle and burn off. Oh no, don't you dare rearrange it, she said. As she kept on writing it back, it was like whack-a-mole. The more she write, the more it burned, and she kept on writing it over again. As she did it fast. Seal, she said, as the ink glowed, before the blue color faded away, leaving only the iron black seal. She wiped her forehead. Done. But there's nothing that we can do from having him remove it again. We will need to have a serious talk with him. Minato winced. I understand, he said. I'll bring him to Tsunade now. A sad look came in Kushina's eye as she reached up and caressed the boy's cheek. Kushina, it was a hard choice, but there is no other way. As he said that, he picked up the boy from the couch as he turned to leave through the window. I know. I just feel we could have done something differently. Two wrongs don't make a right. As a red-hot habanero sat on the couch in the office, while Minato disappeared to hand over to Tsunade her son. Yes, her son now. And there was nothing that she could do. After all, she was the one that started. Yes, she was the one that did it. Because she acted too fast. She rushed ahead without thinking like usual. Flashback. Get him out of here. He's a danger to Katsumi-chan. The voice was angry. It was always angry. Why? But why was she believing? Why didn't she think that it wasn't him? Why was she blaming him? Get that monster out of my house. Why did she yell that? Couldn't she understand how much he's suffering? Just like her. As she threw him out of the house. She didn't even care about those eyes that looked at her with fright and confusion. As she held on to her newborn baby. As the boy that she threw out his blue frightened eyes just looked at her, ready to cry. In the flashback, as Kushina lowered her head towards the sofa. Was she even worthy of being called a mother after what she did? Time skip. The Chunin exam that will be held the next day already has a village and a lot of excitement. People had flocked from all over the countries, even from non-allied nations like the Hidden Stone and Kumo. Mostly it was because the event showed the strongest shinobis out of every shinobi village. Even Daimyo was attending. The problem that Naruto was having that he couldn't train, as he was forced to stay in bed before. So the next morning, once he was fully rested, he disappeared out of the house. Sensei, are you sure? The voice asked a bit of doubt, as the boy simply patted him on the shoulder. Neji Hyuga had been many things, but insensitive. He was not. Sure, he tried hard, but when his very own enemy had become his teacher, his helper, his friend. So he didn't fully believe in fate anymore. He wasn't obsessed with it. Things can change. People can define their own fate and destiny. But his sensei had came for him at the Hyuga compound to grab him for training. He was surprised by that. Usually, they did in secret, but Naruto walked right to the main gate, and the guards did not stop him or do anything, and he just grabbed him while he was eating breakfast and carried him towards training ground. Sensei, did you get permission? Neji asked once again, as he knew that this would leave him to the wrath of the main family if Naruto was doing this on a spring free. As Naruto turned a smile, Neji, I just feel so full of energy right now. A spar is what we need. Come on, he said, as he cartwheeled right over to Neji. Neji had to jump away, as Naruto shoot off the ground and sent a kick towards his right arm. As Neji flipped out of the way, realized that they were indeed gonna train, he dropped into his style, as the both of them started to fight. Sensei, did your mission went well, said Neji while fighting. Nope, it went straight to hell, said Naruto as he grabbed Neji's arm and flipped him over his shoulder. But the boy spun as he brought his ankle down towards Naruto's shoulder. But Naruto grabbed it and flipped Neji back. Neji skidded on the ground. You seem awfully cheery nevertheless, Sensei, said Neji, as he gave a small bow. As Naruto was about to do the same, Neji launched forward to headbutt Naruto, but Naruto simply sidestepped him, as he grabbed Neji and pinned him down towards the ground. Good. Not enough, but good, said Naruto, as he ruffled Neji's hair, making the boy a bit flustered as he got back up. Neji then went stiff as Hayashi Hyuga came out in the training field. As Neji, assume a bowing pose. Naruto Senju, I see you have heeded my words, but I must ask, what was that? Warm up? Training into different taijutsus, Hayashi-san, said Naruto, as Hayashi formed a tick mark on the side of his head, with Naruto using such a formal tone, calling him Hayashi-san. But he let it go, because he did not comment on it. The Jayugen stance is an undisputed style, the winning style of the Hyuga family. As Naruto scratched the back of his head, I don't know how to break it to you, but no, it's not. As Hayashi gasped at that, Neji wants to be anywhere else at the moment. Such insolence. What proof do you have? What weakness does a style that has centuries of living and fighting possess? What weak point could work against the all-seeing eye? Wait, really? You never found out, said Naruto, as he sighed. Well, your recently trained Hyugas always start their attacks with their right arm, and they always aim at the shoulder, points first. It's kind of automatic, I suppose, because they always do it. Hayashi was fighting with himself mentally. He wanted to say that was not a point for making the style weak, but it was a huge flaw on the style. If you knew how your opponent was going to strike, a fight could be ended in about 5 seconds. I see. Neji's eyes bulged out in shock. Did the clan head just admit the weakness of his own style? As he glanced towards Naruto, just what was the sensei capable of? If he could achieve such feat like that, I will resume training then. I've got the entire day, and tomorrow is the day of the Chunin exams. Come on, Neji, said Naruto, as Neji started to attack Naruto once again. You will need to put in more strength behind your blows. No, strength behind your deflections. Keep nimble when you parry, said Naruto as he kicked Neji forward, as Neji flipped and landed, as Naruto knocked him back. And down goes the chicken, said Naruto. Where did you go wrong? I shouldn't have jumped back, said Neji. Not necessarily a bad move, but you went too high, said Naruto. You must always keep mobility, Neji. If your feet are in the air, you can't dodge any longer. You are a ninja first. If you want to become a wall of iron, then take on a sword and become a samurai. Otherwise, you need to be like water, flowing and swift. As Naruto went through hand sign, as the pond water rose up, taking a form of the boy, but he looked a bit shaky. Well, I only practiced a bit on this, and by a bit he meant an hour this morning. And I got nearly no chakra since yesterday, said Naruto. kind of bugs me. Neji eyed Naru. Sensei, shouldn't you rest for tomorrow? Asked Neji. As Naruto chuckled. Back to the lesson, Neji. Be like water, slip, attack. No, where it hurts, dodge, deflect, swift, go through, and always look underneath. The water clone that Naruto created bursts, and the water flow back in the pond. I see. Like this, as Neji threw a kunai that stabbed Naruto right in the chest. As Naruto then collapsed into a puddle of water. Good boy, said Naruto as he appeared on the tree above nearby. For a second, Hayashi was puzzled, but he quickly realized doing things like these were not just playing around, he was developing the side of a shinobi, mind. So why would you do that? Asked Naruto. It seems strange that you would create a half mid-water clone while speaking about low chakra, Sensei, said Neji. You know, if I get to joining before you get out of the academy, Neji, I'm having you on my team, even if I have to forge the documents to get you on my team, said Naruto, as he had a big smile on his face. As a small smile came on Hayashi's face, strangely enough, but he quickly vanished as it was replaced by his calm facade. Even though the boy was cold, his facade always like a stone, with his branch member families and the others. While training with the Senju boy, he opened up, he smiled, even asked the boy about his mission. While he probably would never forgive the main family for what happened to his father, Hayashi was happy that the boy was smiling now. As Hayashi left them after a while, lunch break, said Naruto as he blocked Neji's fists. Soba, Neji said. Ramen, said Naruto. His words said that there was no arguing. He missed ramen too much. Fine, let's go, Sensei, said Neji. As Naruto smiled, the water out of the pond lessened, as a mass of water covered the both of them. As Naruto smiled, Neji's eyebrows started to twitch violently. Let's go then, said Naruto as he dashed off. Come back here, Sensei. That wasn't funny, Neji said. As Naruto headed towards Ichiraku Ramen. As they head off, they were being watched all along by someone else. As she saw him, no longer sweating now as he was soaked in water, as she could see, his shirt stuck to him. It made her blush a bit as she hid. It was none other than Hinata Hyuga. As perhaps she could ask her father if he could train her as well. No, she could even muster up the courage to do something like that. She then saw her father coming over to her training session, where she was trying to at least practice something. Did he saw her using the Byakugan to spy on Neji training? As she stood there. As the heirs of the Hyuga clan, you will attend the academy starting next week, but you will need an escort, Hayashi said. At this point, Hinata had a small leap in her heart. Did father invite Naruto to be her escort? She knew the boy's name was Naruto. She asked Keiyo-san, her caretaker, accept the name and that she should not associate with the likes of him. She didn't know much else, but he was strong. He saved her from the Kumo ninjas in her dreams and in her nightmares. He was always there to save her, and even with the grey hair that he was now sporting, he looked more handsome than ever. Hinata, for that, your escort, will be chosen amongst the finest the village has to offer. At her father's words, she wondered if Naruto was stronger than everyone else. No. She slumped her shoulders as sad sigh, as her father looked at her with a perplexed expression. Yes, father, she said. Hinata, he said in a stern tone, protecting a clan heir isn't a trifling matter that any chunin or genin can do, no matter how good they are at fixing stuff, even person. Hinata looked confused. Though hiring an extraordinary, talented chunin would cost less than a poor skilled jonin, I will give it a thought. As he turned, he activated his Byakugan as a big smile came on Hinata's face. He could keep up all the stern behaviors his clan ordered him to, but nothing will stop him from smiling when seeing a smile on his daughter's face, as Hinata was thinking that Naruto would be her guard. She would love that. Meanwhile, at Ichiraku Ramen, Neji blinked. Naruto must have taken the Kyuubi's stomach. After all, the Kyuubi was large, right? And had a large stomach. That was the only reason that made sense to Neji how Naruto could eat 29 bowls of ramen and then ask for another one. More than that, the girl on the other side of the counter was smiling and asked them a bunch of questions. You know, Hana-chan is so pissed at you for having skipped the academy years. She wants a match with you to prove if you're really strong or not. Hearing that, Neji barged in to defend his sensei honor. Sensei is strong. He just came back from an S-rank mission. As Naruto gasped at that, he stuttered a bit before sigh. Neji, definition of an S-rank mission, he said. As Neji went into memory, hoping that he wouldn't make a mistake. They are missions assigned The high skills jonin, or large squad of ninjas, they can't be refused and they're usually placed on a 1 million Ryu worth of pay, at least. S just doesn't stand for the high difficulty, but also for secret. When possible, information are not to be speaking of. And it's best not to even spoken that you've gone on one, he said. Realized his mistake. Good, said Naruto. Another soba for my student, took his hand, said Naruto. You went on an extra mission? Are you alright? Were you hurt? Ayam said, as she looked worried. Not much, really, said Naruto, as he pulled out a small pill out of his pocket using a transformation. The hinge, to avoid Ayam took it or Neji seeing it. As he slipped it in his mouth carefully, he was fine. He was gonna be fine, as he remembered. His mind drifted back to it. The shackles were cold. Cold to the touch, they were freezing. Do you know why the table you're on is metallic? The voice did not belong to the man that attacked him with the twin swords. The voice was different. He couldn't see the person because he could not see, as he could feel the mushy sensation on his face that wants his eyes, the blood running down freely on his face. He wanted to cry, but as he did, he realized it stung like salt had been poured on his wounds. You have permanently lost the use of sight, usually. Removing the senses of the victim is the first base of torture. In the Hidden Stone, they prefer to crush their subject limbs to stop mobility. Naruto tried to say something, but he couldn't. Oh, did I forget? Your tongue was sedated for a while. I know this is an interrogation, but I want to see you writhe in pain and agony. And perhaps I'll get to dissect you. A form of torturing. Naruto could not keep track of the freezing, the burning, the tools that were used to break his skin, smash his bones. What should have been minutes became hours in his mind, as all he saw was blackness, darkness. His body just wanted to drift away, to leave this place. You're a failure to your teammates. They probably already left you. That is what he believed. Ninjas are nothing but meat bags, meat shields, not worthy of having a soul. That wasn't true. He was a human being. He was like everyone else, he thought to himself. You have a strange tattoo here on your shoulder. I'll leave it. A nice marking for you, so they can recognize your body. Naruto said absolutely nothing, no matter how much pain he went through. Despite his tongue getting back feeling in it, he didn't speak out a single word. His stomach was torn, as his mother would probably cry. But he was still alive. Where was that necklace? The man had stashed it somewhere, but where was it? Can I bury him now? A voice said. As Naruto recognized that voice, it was of the man with the twin blades. Yes, you can. And then the nothingness as he was buried. And then the voice of the Kyuubi calling out to him. He sighed as he let his hand touch his chest, as Naruto was snapped back to reality from his memory. They had found the necklace alright. It was lodged in between his lungs. Trying to remove it would have only risked his life, and where it was, it didn't pose a threat to his life. Though the implication of having a chakra crystal in your body was unknown, it was better than dying. He was fine, he kept on telling himself. He was filled with energy and ready for June exams, but he remembered after he woke up in the hospital, as Naruto had woken up after Kushina had went over a seal. He looked toward his side. His mother was holding on to his hand as her head was resting on the bed. The moment he shifted, her head snapped up. Naruto-chan, are you alright? You passed out in the Hokage's office. She would have rushed into the hospital, but if she didn't find anything, if she, the greatest ninja, didn't find anything wrong with him, except for chakra exhaustion, the other medics would not. Q-chan is gone, said Naruto. Where are you, Q-chan, he said. As Tsunade held his hand tighter on reflex. Q-chan? Who's Q-chan, Naruto-kun, she said. She's a Kyuubi, Mom, said Naruto. And she's a really gentle fox. And she has a really pretty blue fur too. Tsunade realized his voice was kind of childish. Not that she minded. It was probably because he was so tired. Maybe she should let him sleep instead of barraging him with questions about everything. Maybe if I loosen the seal I can see her, said Naruto. No! Tsunade screamed out. But she's my friend, Mom, said Naruto. Naruto said Tsunade as she held his hand with both of hers. I want you to promise me that you will never ever break the seal. If you do, the Kyuubi will be free and you will die. Promise me, she said. I promise, Mom. I'll never break it, said Naruto. But I can loosen it a bit. She frowned. Are you sure you know how to do it, she asked. As Naruto nodded, She tried to come up against something against it to tell him to do not do it. Some bad effect, but the window didn't open as Jiraiya popped inside. "Hey there," he said. Tsunade's eye twitched violently as Naruto looked towards his godfather. "Jiraiya, first time in 2 years you're visiting your godson, and the first thing you have to say is, 'Hey there.' Actually, I'm a shy clone, so no hating me," Tsunade he said. "I got things to say, very important ones." As he looked towards Naruto, "You should not loosen your seal." "But Uncle Jiraiya, Q-chan is..." "No, Naruto. Listen to me. The Kyuubi is a massive yang chakra that require yang chakra to be fully used and awakened. If you loosen the seal, the yang chakra will start to merge with your yang chakra, but you do not possess enough of it to hold yourself awake with the seal loosened. Yang is vitality, yin is imagination. Where yang is power, yin is control. Where yang is strength, yin is brain. However, with the mass of yin in your body, the Kyuubi siphon your yang off, and without proper chakra levels, it will kill you if you loosen it too much." "But she was choking last time," said Naruto. "Naruto, she's a Kyuubi. She attacked the village. She destroyed countless lives. You will not loosen that seal. Everything she tell you is a lie." "No, but..." "No buts, Naruto," Jiraiya snapped. "Promise me that you will not loosen the seal, not even an inch." What if I'm in a life and death situation?" said Naruto. "Then you may, but I'm afraid those won't happen for a while," Jiraiya said. Naruto narrowed his eyes. "Why?" he asked. "Not that you want to be in a life and death situation. As you know, Chunins do not have fixed teams like Genin do. Usually, they're made of 4-man squad. Thus, you are probably going to be given Chunin jobs in the village, keeping an eye out for the new seal failure if it were to occur. And you will probably be given guard duty." "New seal?" "Your old seal. It was breaking, Naruto," said Jiraiya. "That is why Hinata had it redrawn. Your tenant tried to break it. It refused to have it permanently locked away. That is why next time, there probably won't be enough time to place a new seal. And if she break free, it will kill you." It was at that moment, in the silence, both mother and godfather looking at him, Naruto stopped feeling safe, feeling like he was in danger, real danger now, to die at any time. Naruto-kun! Naruto-kun! He snapped out of his thoughts. As he looked up towards Ayam. "You zoned out for a bit. Are you alright?" "Oh, I'm fine," said Naruto. "Well, what do you think?" she said. "Think of what?" As she pointed down. As Naruto realized, she had placed in a sea ramen bowl with the ones that he ordered. "I've done wonders, haven't I?" "Whoa. It's really good," said Naruto. "Huh. Better than last time." "I mean, really, really better." "Yeah. No, I mean, it's just on a total different level." She grumbled a bit. "Thanks for the compliment," she said, with a too sweet smile, as Neji watched him as Naruto laughed. It reminded him of when him and Hinata used to play together on the day of her 3rd birthday, when he was marked as a branch member. He even stopped speaking to her back then. He didn't hate her. After all, she wasn't to blame by any of this. Even his sensei had a mark as well, but his was holding back a demon. And if a demon released from his sensei's body, he would die. His mark will bring him pain, but only if he go against the main family. A sensei will never be free of its burden without dying. But perhaps he could find a way to be free, to live free. Naruto sighed as Ayam went to chop up some vegetables. The ramen flap was opened up as snakes rushed in and wrapped up around Naruto. Neji was about to retaliate, but he thought it was Naruto's team. Itachi came over and reached into Naruto's pocket and pulled out his wallet as he paid for all the ramens that he bought. As he placed the wallet back in his pocket, "You should be in bed," Uncle said, as she picked Naruto up and started dragging him away. As Ayam looked a bit jealous. "Don't be jealous." As she turned towards Neji, "You're probably one of the few safe havens that Sensei has." As Neji made his way off, as the girl blushed. After all, the Byakugan saw everything, as that was the pay Sensei back as well, for the water prank. Time skip, Senju compound. "I do not need sleep, I'm fine," said Naruto, as he was dropped in the Senju guard compound. "You nearly went a week half dead, and then one night and you're a bottle of NJ? You need rest," Uncle said. "Kakashi-sensei," said Naruto. "I'm fine," as he glanced toward his sensei, who just looked down at him. Kakashi simply shrugged, leaving the coat to Uncle as Uncle grabbed him. "Still, if you exhaust yourself today, what about tomorrow? You'll be exhausted for Chunin exams." as Kakashi simply gave Naruto a smile. As Naruto's eyes started to turn sparkly to give Kakashi the puppy dog eye jutsu. But Itachi pinned Naruto down as he covered his eyes. It's not gonna work. You're going to sleep, Naruto, Itachi said, as he was brought straight up to his room and dropped in his bed. His door was locked from the outside. But I'm fine, he said. He grumbled as he went to the window and lifted up, only to recall as snakes were there. No get no from the window, Naruto-chan, uncle said, waving at him in the garden. I'm a prisoner in my own house, said Naruto, as Kakashi waved at him as he started to train the other two. As Naruto felt so energized. Was this because the fox was not siphoning his yang chakra again? He felt so hyperactive like he wanted to jump and just leap all over the place. He took deep breaths as he calmed himself down. He grabbed a book on medical knowledge. As he started to read, he had to do something, he had time. So better he do something constructive. As Naruto saw the snakes not looking his way anymore, as he slowly created a hinge, like he was still reading the book. As the snakes turned around, they could sense vibration. As he crawled gently and slowly towards the door, as he started to pick the lock, as he slowly opened it, he then slid through the door as he made his way. As he ran down the stairs, "Yo," said a voice, as Naruto paused, as he turned to see Kakashi. "But you're outside." "I'm also here," said Kakashi. "This is a shadow clone. Pretty neat, isn't it? A solid clone. You can even do techniques with it." As Naruto knew that he had to do something as Kakashi grabbed him, as he turned, his eyes seemed to grow 10 size as they started to sparkle. "Big brother Kakashi, please let me go," he said. It was enough for the clone to poof away. As the real one got the information, he dropped, tears coming from his eyes. "Sensei," Uncle said. "I think we lost him," said Itachi. "What happened?" Uncle asked, as she poked Kakashi with a stick. "You know, I think he has a secret bloodline that none of us know about," Itachi said. "Huh? What?" "It has to be the eyes. It must the eyes, or the hair, or the whiskers. Has to be." Uncle chuckled. "You sound jealous," she said. Wait, he escaped?" They weren't able to find him until his mother came home. Yes, and it was dinner time. And then he just appeared, like he was there all along, with a smile on his face. None of them could say otherwise. Time skip. Chunin exam day. "Make me proud of you," said Tsunade as she hugged him tightly. As many men around the scene, face started to turn red. "I'm sure that you will pass without problems," said Shizune as Tauntaun onked in her arms. With a bit of fight, Naruto was able to break free from his mother's grasp. "Mom, I'm soon to be Chunin. No need to smother me like this," he said. She hugged him tightly once again just for that, as he was able to slip away, as he saw Itachi and Uncle waiting for him at the building. As Kakashi was leaning up against a wall waiting for them there, as he eye-smiled the three of them. "Third floor, 5th room. That is where the exam take place," said Kakashi. "Whatever happened, I'm sure that you guys will pull through." As he looked over and saw Kurna was dressed in her usual attire, but she had a small flag with Naruto's face on it, and she was flapping it. "I'm starting to think that she's going insane," said Uncle, prolonged to the puppy dog eyes. "I think it caused addiction," Itachi said. "It's not that bad," Naruto pouted. Flashes went off everywhere. As Naruto turned, they were gone. The highly trained operatives that were hired to keep track of any cute facial features, especially him pouting. He turned towards his mother. "Stop that, Mom," he said as he grabbed Itachi and Uncle. They went into the room. Tsunade stood there and held out her hand as one of her operatives came and placed the camera in her hand. She smiled. "Have them prepared by tonight. Got it?" Shizune nodded. "Got it," she said. She made her way off. As Shizune was happy, after Naruto came back from that turning S-rank mission, Tsunade had cut down a lot on the drinking. A lot. After all, as Naruto came back from a mission that was quite deadly, so this proved that necklace wasn't really cursed. As she was happy that she had her Naruto-chan. The group stepped inside the building as they saw a bodies to be exact, ninjas from the hidden grass and rain on the floor. They walked past them as one of them got up and tried to grab Uncle's leg. She kicked him right in the face as they walked by. "Ow," said Katetsu. "Come now to the transformation." "Well, they do have a Uchiha on their team," said Aizumo. "Yeah, guess you're right." "Well, let's wait for the others," he said, as the both of them took by their hinge. Meanwhile, Naruto and Itachi made their way up along with Uncle. There was barely people inside as they took their seats. There was ninjas from the hidden grass, some from Konoha, and some from the rain. There were also some from the hidden cloud, probably due to the aggressive pack. No one looked at them with any murderous intent or anything. Everyone was just seeming a bit nervous, or probably it's because they were really afraid. The genuine team that completed that extract mission, yes, who wouldn't be afraid? I mean, kids doing extract missions. Just who the hell were they? The door of the classroom opened after a while to reveal their examiners, and amongst them stood Ibiki. Well, I think the genjutsu was enough to scare half the brats. I'm gonna be on a roll today, he said, as he made his way to the front. Now listen up, brats, he said, his gaze wandered around all of them. In the group was his younger brother, with a sparkling smile. You will now do a written test with 10 questions. If you get caught cheating, you will lose 2 points. If you don't answer a question, you lose 1 point. Before we begin, Team Kakashi, separate yourself. The people in the room were confused. That's the Senju? Seeing that his hair was now completely grey, they didn't know. After all, he was blonde. That is why they were confused. You know, you should be more courteous with the person that saved your life, said Naruto as he got to his feet. As they start to move away from each other, Ibiki's eye twitched. The test is fair to all, and just because you saved me, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna give you special treatment. Oh, I wouldn't have expect any lesser from a man who couldn't even sense a porcupine. It never happened, said Ibiki. What never happened? Itachi asked. You sit on a porcupine. After all, I'm sure it wasn't a genjutsu. Just start the damn test, Ibiki said, as the papers were handed out. As Naruto looked over the paper, he looked up and mouthed the words, I hate you. Ibiki simply grinned. Ibiki watched as Naruto started to write all of them down. That was strange. After all, he searched for those questions in the hidden part of the library where people don't normally go. The real reason for this test was to find the tunings and cheat to see how good you can do it without getting caught. So to be doing this without even cheating, Ibiki narrowed his eyes and noticed a transformation over the brat as he removed it. But there was another one, a double layer transformation. Well, fine by him, Naruto was clearly good at cheating. He could let his gaze move to someone else. But he was still curious, so he unraveled the second layer, and beneath it was a third layer. 3-level transformations were extremely chakra-consuming, yet the boy didn't even seem fade by it. So there had to be a trick somewhere. Maybe he put back one up when he was removing the first one. So Ibiki silently removed the transformation, and there was another one underneath. As it then finally broke as Naruto finished the 9th question, Itachi's Sharingan was blazing over to the side. The entire place had been put under genjutsu for them to focus on the transformation of Naruto, while they got the answer as Anko waved towards Ibiki. Within moments, everyone started to get caught as the ones that were cheating. Now the examinees started to pay attention to them. After all, they were all focused on Naruto because of Itachi Genjutsu. People started to get kicked out of the exam. The small tiny snakes that passed on the answers to Itachi and Naruto poofed away. In the beginning there was 102 Genins, but now there was 36. As they were the only one remaining with the 10 question waiting. Alright, Ibiki said, it's time for the 10 question. If you get this question wrong, you will never in your life become a chunin. You will stay a genin for the rest of your life. The room uproared at that. That couldn't be possible. As the group of cloud ninjas that were there were calm too. A blonde-haired kunoichi from the cloud, one with red hair, and a boy with white hair. And there was a rain group that kept their cool as well. Silence! Ibiki said, as they went quiet. I guess you're just unlucky that I was a proctor for this year. No, stop your whining. If you want to leave, you can. If you want to drop out now, and you can probably take the test next time in the San or Kiri and pass their questions. But here in Konoha it goes like this. So make your choice. Genin started to file out of the room. Out of 36, only 21 remain. 7 teams. Ibiki brother team was amongst them. Now, on to the 10th question. You're in enemy territory with your team with a valuable piece of information. One of your teammates has been captured. The information is really important. So important in fact, if you don't deliver it, your village will be in a dire situation. But if you leave, your teammate will die. Now those of you who would deliver the information remain in the room. Those of you who will save your teammate but go against the shinobi rules, please go outside. Anko was fighting with her morale To save her teammate. After all, that is what she did with Naruto. And disobey the Hokage, the village orders. Was Ibiki asking them that? Or was he going with the option of them listening to the village and the Hokage? Itachi looked over towards Anko. She was looking around nervously as no one was moving out. She then paused as her eyes fixed on something. She smirked as her body stopped shaking. As he followed her gaze where Naruto was standing. If you leave now, your entire team will be disqualified. Naruto simply shook as he looked towards Itachi and Anko, who nodded as they got up. See you later, Ibiki, said Naruto as he walked out along with his teammates. The white-haired boy from Kumo stood up as well, as the two girls looked at him murderously. Sorry, I just don't have it in me to leave. You guys behind me, said. Ibiki looked towards his fellow examiner, who ticked the Kumo Shinobi's name like he did with Naruto team, Amoy, Yujito, and Karu. As they left with their teammate, another group stood up as they made their way out. Their name was Tick, Kojuru, Miyaizu, and Minjutsu. Those were all that leave, as Ibiki now decides the others to remain. Alright, for all of you that remain in the room, you fail, he said. Standing outside, Kojuru, I'm gonna cut you down like a fish, Minjutsu said, as he looked at the blue-haired boy with the glasses, who was a couple years his junior, and you wish to become a member of 7 Ninja Swordsman of the Mist. You can't even... Really, Amoy? He was cut off. You made us fail, said Karu. The blonde-haired girl simply remained quiet, as none of them outside knew if they fail or pass. But the man did tell them that if they leave, well, he told that other team with a silver-haired kid that they will lose. They were told to head to another room, as they were confused. As they came in the room, the window opened, as flower petals flow inside. Bright red eyes fixed on the entire group. Congratulations to you all for passing the first part of the test, said Kurnia with a smile, as Mainjutsu looked at Kojuro with a smirk. Well, I guess you aren't all that wimpy. I might let you use a sword eventually. Just like that the culprits that nearly made them fail became the heroes. I was thinking about Amoy was punched over the head. No, you just chicken out and we got lucky, said right here Kunoichi. Anyway, Kurnia said as she clapped her hands. As you must understand, the second part will take part in the Forest of Death, Train Ground 44, and I will be the proctor, she said. So, head over there in the next hour, she said. You may not carry anything except for 3 kunais, plus 1 shuriken, plus your clothes, but they must come without secret weapons stashed within. You will be checked for extra weapons, but you can swap the weapons out for another one of choice, like a sword, if you wish. She then paused. Oh, I'm sure you'd like to know why you pass exams. You see, those that abandon their missions are trash. But those who abandon their friends, their comrades, are even worse than trash, she said. That is a will of fire. As he shuns in away with that, I think I should write it down, said Amoy. What if it's a test? A test within a test? And what if... Oh, just shut up, said Karu. Samui-sensei is gonna be happy that we pass. It was at that moment that they turned to leave, they paused. Oh, where's the Forest of Death? Even the 3 Kirishinobis turned to the 3 Konoha ones, 6 pairs of eyes staring at them. You know, we could just run away and make them ask the civilians, Uncle said. Then again, they could chuck us down. Or probably will ask someone that know where the train ground is, Itachi said. So just let them follow us then, said Naruto. I like that kid, said Minjutsu. As Miyaizu chuckled. I think that Gozu is probably having a fit that he failed, and I did not. It was a good move, said Miyaizu as he looked towards Kojuro. Minjutsu turned towards Kojuro. Do that in a mission, a real mission, and the Mizukage will have you killed. The Kumo Shinobis along the Kira Shinobis follow Naruto and his team. The blonde-haired girl kept her eyes on Naruto. There was something off about him, as they moved outside to receive cheers from the crowd. But as the crowd saw who passed, they slowly dispersed. A majority of them though, without a word. There was a Kumo ninja there though, that remained even though the other ones went away. Uncle turned. Well, our excuse is that I'm the snake bitch, and he's the Kayu bitch in Juliki, as she chuckled to herself. What's yours? A gasp came from Kojuro as he moved away from the gray-haired boy. Yujito narrowed her eyes. I believe it's me, she said. The name is Jinjulki. As Karu sighed, and the Raikage said not to take a fight with their Jinjulki in the exams. Damn, this is gonna go bad. Is it just something about this generation, Uncle said. With the blades. Those 2 blue heads over there have blades. It seems that me and poor Naruto-chan are gonna have to fight with our kunais. As Naruto cleared his throat, as he placed his hand on the tanto that Kakashi gave him as a gift. Well, I guess I'm left alone, said Uncle. Well, I don't need a sword, said Yujito. As she whispered, she really sucked at interactions. Yes, really sucked at it. Swords are useful tools. Everyone in Kumo know how to use them except for Yujito, who used her nails. Yeah, her nails were really tough. But still, she moved closer to the gray-haired boy, wondering if she could strike up a conversation with him. Seeing if life for Jinchurikis suck in Konoha as Kumo. If he has been trained from age 2 to control his beast. If his beast was a cat that was in almost heat at it every single time. That whisper, for her to jump on a meal that passed. Not necessarily human, any race. Yes, a very heaty cat. Well, things like that wasn't actually a normal conversation, right? She thought to herself. But she didn't realize the way the gray-haired one moved. He was always swapping position with the other two, and she couldn't actually get near him. Unless she asked a question and raised her voice, she couldn't get near him. She wasn't used to normal interaction with humans. So she decided to ask in a normal tone. She figured that this was the right thing to ask. Have you ever killed anyone before, she said. As it was just so normal in her head. To her surprise, though, he answered. Yes. You? He said. Yes. My first was a missing name, she said. Amoy and Terui did not say anything. As Itachi looked at Uncle for her to keep her mouth shut. Mine was 2 bandits, explosive tags, said Naruto. I used a Nibi fire. What can you use from the Kyuubi, she asked. I got fire. Really hot blue fire, he said. She raised the eyebrow and I have that too. Maybe it's something similar to all Jinchurikis. But B-Sensei never had blue fire tricks. Meh, I didn't really ask her. And they told me not to wake her up, since my chakra reserves aren't really that high yet. First of all, the Kyuubi is a he. Secondly, it's a massive chakra. If anything, he has chakra to spare. And there is no need of building up for a third party. And I've never, ever seen him use blue fire before. He used red flames. It seemed to be from the pit of hell itself, but red flames that scorch the ground. He's lying to you, kitten, said the Nibi. As Yujito narrowed her eyes in distrust. But he looked so calm, like he was telling the truth. I see, she said. As the group finally made their way towards the Forest of Death. As Kurina smiled when she saw them. Alright everyone, she said. This is a survival test. If you can survive 5 days in the Forest of Death while heading towards the tower in the center, each of you would have normally been given a scroll. But considering the low number, it wouldn't be fair. So, you're gonna be scavenging. Hidden in the forest is at least 8 different number. Code. Bring 2 to the tower before the time limit is up. And you will pass the second phase. Wait, why are there 8 codes for just 3 teams, Amoy asked. Because nothing is stopping you from destroying codes. Once you find them. To bar your opponents from obtaining them. Survival, information tracking. This will prove it all. Be mindful, you can die in this phase. So you'll need to sign these forms, she said. Main just a shrug. Won't be as difficult as a Jenny. Graduation exam at Kiri, he said. If he knew one thing though, no matter what, he's not gonna fail. After all, it would look bad on Kiri, like they're weak. Which they're definitely not. Well, he can say for himself. As he smirked, showing rather sharp teeth. But guys, be in episode right here. If you want to see next more episodes, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications to stay posted. But more for now, see you guys soon. Peace.